A nature connection to like inner to outer systems change, playfulness, community building, hosting events and hosting workshops, worked in like startups or like tech companies. Skills of being more like someone who puts it all together and kind of sees the wider picture is something that maybe hasn't been valued as much.
How do you have a good feeling about yourself in an environment that wants this other thing?
The activities themselves in management or facilitation could actually be similar, but then maybe the how is probably different. You wouldn't facilitate something in such a linear, planned, structured way. There would always be more space for emergence and flow and responding, to what's needed. It's actually quite intangible even to define the beehive. It was the first time that I felt a sense of community with people who assembled around, I think, shared values and maybe interests, and quite strongly as well.
It's actually not that Carol had an idea and she said, hey everybody, let's do this. You didn't even mention who came up with it. You're saying that it sort of happens in some way.
I mean, the idea is that it is as radically co-created as possible. How much diversity of maybe different values do you want to invite? Because as soon as the values are too opposite, they will then start infringing on or endangering like what the group kind of stands for.
You mentioned last time that you're realizing about yourself that you're more materialistic than you think.
I'm not open-minded to tolerating
Intolerance. Yeah.
that. But even then I will still not be the person who's like, oh my god, you're evil, I'm still more the person who will be like, oh, I wonder, why they think that way.
I like to think I don't actually know anything.
Sounds like you perceive yourself as quite open-minded, and so where does your open-mindedness end? We are all our relations, right? It can also be hard sometimes to not have these cleared identifiers of who we are. I would just acknowledge the things that are tangible, that I can see, that are matter, but I wouldn't maybe have this layer of perceiving the intrinsic beauty and value of them because it's not measurable, it's not quantifiable. How did you get into capoeira?
Visit the link in the description or go to strolling.rosano.ca to hear the full episode.